Hi, John Colleen here again. I just want to talk about syllabus, really important. I mentioned in the write-up that we really should read it. It's a pretty long syllabus, but it'll be worth reading it so strategically you know exactly what's going to be expected of you, what the rubrics are, and outcomes, that type of thing. And the first thing we'll talk about is the book itself. I think you should have seen it already. This is the book. It's Hurt Daniels. It's the 15th edition. Okay, so you should be able to get it used. Hopefully, you have it by now. In general, the course goes in order by chapters, and I'll cover that in a second. But first, I just want to talk about the course outcomes, where you should be at the end. So first chapter or so is talking about accounting concepts, principles and assumptions. So that'll be a big piece of it, and looking at it at a macro level, determining the financial health of a company using ratios in this particular thing called the DuPont model, and it allows an analyst, financial manager, to see where value is actually being created. Again, foundationally, it builds on what you know about accounting. The third or fourth module, we're talking about something called the time value of money. Pretty difficult concept, but we should all be able to get that. There's something called present value, and we'll be talking about it. Discounted cash flow. That'll be a big one. That should carry you in any kind of finance class, so to be honest with you, very foundational. Talking about cash flow analysis, the discounted cash flow will, and that will sort of be similar. We, as financial analysts, want to be able to figure out what's a cash flow versus what's an accounting net income, for example. There's a big difference. Both are important to understand about what they're telling us. And we want to understand the financial steps required to actually form a business. And then all these things that we learn will allow us to value a business, which is kind of cool. I'm a geek a little bit, but that's a cool thing to be able to do. I'm interested in valuation. And once we get to those parts later on, we'll tie into how those components actually come into play with how capital markets work. So example, by determining how to use future value, we can determine what should be the value of a bond, a fixed income instrument. It's a one single future payment and a stream of annuity. So once you could figure that out, you get a foundational view of what a bond should cost, and then we'll talk about then you understand how supply and demand in capital markets work. So that's how that works. So specifically, you should be able to, if you haven't got the book already, I would get it online personally. Big thing you want to do, we're going to start right in week one. I will try to do a little summary each week of what is ahead of us, what kind of things I think are the most important. But again, everything will be mapped out in the syllabus. Each week you want to read the checklist, look over, watch the lectures. Occasionally I might add an additional lecture, not to give you more work, but maybe it will be a different voice. Sandy does all the recording, so I might add in some other ones if it helps. Definitely participate in the discussion questions. This is an online class. It's the equivalent of me asking for raised hands, and so I got to know that you know the material. Again, it might help you understand if you have to write down an answer to a discussion question, it'll force you to understand the concepts. Just go through and complete the stuff. That's going to be the most important thing. You can't really take a week off. It's just going to bury you. So really make sure that you're chipping away at it each week, and you're meeting your deadlines. Posting specifically on page 3. I won't read it all, but on the rubric, it does map in about what rubric is supposed to be. So I am looking for you to sort of show off your stuff, meaning demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. A response like, oh, that was a really good response, is not really going to cut it. If you disagree with something someone says, or you can add on to it, or you can make ties into current business practices and things that are in the journal or on TV, financial TV, then that'll be what will make the conversations much more vibrant and much more useful, and that's what I'll be looking for. So again, look at that rubric for discussions. The rubrics are big. You go through the mechanics. You are expected to follow what we need, so you know exactly how you're going to be scored. There's one part called netiquette, and again, I want you to read that. Positive comments as if we were sitting in the classroom. We need to respect each other's opinions. I'll be always reading things. A lot of times I won't be driving the conversation because, this is about you 10 people, and you all can complete what we need to do. I might ask a provocative question so that it's leading to something that I'm looking for from you guys. So think about that. Can't cheat. I know that you're all we could be sitting in our living rooms and whatever, and it's honor code. I can't see if you're looking at someone else's paper or whatever, but make sure you're doing original work. There are some ways that I can tell that this isn't necessarily yours, so I don't even want to go into that place. So use the library. If you go onto the wit.edu library place, there's a lot of content on there. There's definitely access to periodicals that you're required for this beyond the book. So Wall Street Journal and Barron's. Again, you could use any kind of resource that has a business section for some of the most common news. But again, it's all online for free right there if you go into via the WIT and you use your email address. I think that's about it. Again, I intend on doing at least an introduction to the week every week. And if there's a concept that everybody is having a problem with, then I'll do a supplemental post, probably video, and show some other things. Maybe we'll get away. I don't want to do too many PowerPoints. That'll be death by PowerPoint for you guys. But again, make sure you're looking at the rubric so you know what we're looking for. The first week, the objectives are about as soon as you get your book, you're talking about what financial management is. Week one, goals and functions of financial management. So fly through that. They give you suggestions about how long you should be watching the stuff. The lectures 1.5, readings are 1.5, resources are 1.5. So make sure you're spending the time on that. Some people read quicker than others, and maybe some of the topics and the pieces are overlapping. If you see a PowerPoint and covers the same thing you read, you might be able to fly through that, but make sure you're putting in the right time. So again, the first week is an overview. The first class shouldn't be too bad. It's a lot of review, but it's foundational. You hear me use that word a lot. So make sure you understand what's going on in there, and if you can start on week 2. If you fly through week 1, just start reading the review of accounting, because we start talking about the financial statements and the accounting pieces. All right. So I'll stop there. Again, please send me any questions or any issues that you have, and I look forward to working with you.